Hello, I'm Luna, an astrologer and tarot reader of over 8 years, and today we're going to be taking a look at Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber, taking a look at their relationship to see, why are these two together? What's the truth about their dynamic? And so we have their Synastry chart here on the inner circle. We have Hailey's chart, and then on the outer circle in red, we have Justin's chart. So if you would like your own personalized reading, you can head on over to my store in the description below. I'm currently running 25% off till the end of September in honor of this past eclipse season. So be sure to get that before the sale is over. So let's take a look at what's going on here. So his moon in Libra is conjunct her Venus Chiron conjunction. This means that she feels incredibly soothed by his love. So the way that he nurtures and needs her makes her feel chosen, makes her feel important. She has a Venus Chiron conjunction, so this is like self-esteem issues, wounds and fears around being worthy, being beautiful, being loved, a little pick-me energy, especially in Libra. It's interesting that he's been with two women with a Venus Chiron conjunction. Selena also has this placement, so he seems to really like women who their entire life starts and stops based on him. So he really seeks these dynamics where the women he's with need him for reassurance or need his love to feel loved and important. A Moon-Venus conjunction is quite affectionate. It means that he feels like he can be warm and cuddly with her, and she's always warm and cuddly with him. Like he feels like she creates a space of harmony where he's not going to be rejected or hurt or wounded. And the Moon Chiron conjunction also means that he feels needed, and he likes to feel like she needs his affection or needs his validation. They have a moon opposition to moon, so his moon in Libra opposes her moon in Aries. This means that they have like complementary love styles. So what he needs to feel safe and loved is like having someone who centers him, who prioritizes him, who's in partnership with him, who will bring him peace. Someone who's like, their partner in crime. Like, you don't stand against me, you stand with me. For her, with Moon and Aries, she needs somebody who fights for her. There's a sense of like needing, almost seeing a little bit of chaos or conflict as a show of love, of like, show me your worst and then I know that you love me. Again, both Hailey and Selena have a moon in Aries, so it's interesting that he really seeks out these kinds of dynamics where he seeks out women who see his chaos or his conflict or his overwhelm as a little bit like safe or familiar. This means that for some reason Hailey experiences this friction between them as a sign that he loves her, right? And it means that over time they kind of help each other learn each other's nature, like they complement each other, they help fill in each other's like traits. So for him, it's like over time he learns, okay, she needs me to show her my worst so that she knows that I love her. She needs me to fight for her sometimes. And then for her, she feels like, okay, I need to be supportive. I need to be his partner in crime. So it's kind of like the complement of the moon opposition. Now, this her Mars is on his Chiron. So there's these Chiron contacts. These are healing contacts. It means that coming together heals each other's wounds, their fears, their insecurities. For Hailey, that's the wound around belonging, around being important, around being beautiful or popular or liked, and being chosen by this guy, this cool, successful man, to her feels like the biggest reflection of her worth. And for him, he has his Chiron in Virgo, which is this belief that he is inherently broken, can't be fixed, he is not good enough, that he's not perfect enough, that people won't love him because he will never be good enough, right? He'll never live up to expectations. Now for Hailey, she has her Mars in Virgo, which means that her tendency is to control, is to fix, is to feel like I'm going to fight for you by learning you, by obsessing over you, by noticing every detail about you, by trying to fix you. So for him, it both triggers and soothes, because Mars is kind of an abrasive planet. So on the one end, it makes him feel like she's always micromanaging him, like he's under a microscope, like he's suffocated or triggered by her constant need to fix him and understand him and push him to be better. But it also makes him feel loved, that she even believes that he could be better, that she even, waits for him and waits out his self-sabotaging nature. There's a sense of like him feeling like, oh, I can be my worst here and you still think I could be better. I could be my worst here and you don't leave. Instead, you just try to learn me more. You just try to be a better partner. So to him, that kind of feels validating, in the sense of like, somebody cares enough about me to not leave even when I'm not perfect, and to not punish me. But at the same time, it also makes him feel like he's under a microscope or needs to live up to her expectations of being better. And it also like feeds into her narratives, with like her Venus in Libra being like, I just need to be better. I just need to be more pleasing. I just need to understand him better. And Mars in Virgo is like her feeling like she's a savior. I can fix you. I can master this. I can conquer you. I can conquer you by learning you and pleasing you and being more and more perfect and trying harder and harder. So that's a kind of a closed loop that they do have going on over and over again. His moon in her 10th house is definitely about obviously bringing public opinion into her career and into her life. The moon, obviously, it rules public opinion, and people's love for him and people's adoration for him, and it brings it into her public eye. So she was already in Hollywood, but I think that she wasn't like a public figure per se, until she started dating him. So this is obviously like a big indication that being with him made her more exposed to the public sphere and being seen in the public eye. It triggers her wounding with Chiron here. So being with him publicly triggers her wounding around being chosen or needed or wanted or important. But it also weirdly validates her as well. So even though he seems to publicly embarrass her, she doesn't really see it that way. With the Moon Chiron conjunction here between them, this is her feeling like people are just mad that he chose me. Venus Chiron in Libra. He chose me. He married me. He had a baby with me. We've been together 7 years. Like, there's like a sense of her feeling like, even though this triggers her wounding around the very same thing that she's always felt, which is like she's second best, people don't like me, people don't choose me, I'm not the prettiest, I'm not the most popular, it also soothes her. Like, well, he's with me. He lives with me. I see him every day. He had a baby with me. He picked me, he married me, right? So there's a little bit of a pick-me energy of like her feeling like, even though he embarrasses her, she doesn't see it that way. She sees it like, this is just, you just don't understand, and you're just mad. You guys are just mad that he picked me, right? There's also this Sun-Pluto conjunction on her part in the 12th house on his ascendant. So Sun-Pluto on the ascendant is very, like, she definitely micromanages and exerts influence over his image and the way that he presents himself. Looking at this dynamic here with this particular Sun-Pluto on the ascendant and the North Node Pluto on her sun, for some reason this is really giving me really strong Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne vibes. I don't know if Justin is like publicly known for having had like pretty serious mental health or addiction issues. Like North Node Pluto in the 12th house, Jupiter in the 12th house. This is not a normal man. This is a man who's, because of the extraordinary, circumstances that he's grown up in, the kind of life that he's had, he's definitely gone through some very intense brushes with the very dark side of life. North Node Pluto, that's like seeing the underbelly of greed, of addiction, of, the entertainment industry. Just like that whole thing is something that he has become extremely acquainted with and has damaged him in many ways, transformed him, or made him very intense and extremist in many ways. And Hailey herself, with the Sun-Pluto conjunction, she is built to withstand circumstances and behaviors and just very scary things that other people would probably run for the hills around. She's very like, yeah, I can handle that. So Sun-Pluto people are very dominating and controlling, and they're not afraid of like intensity, and they actually thrive in it. And so I think from her perspective, like, even though there's like a big narrative around the relationship, around her not being his first choice, or like he's really in love with Selena, to be honest, I think this is the good story. This is the good narrative. This is the PR spin, if you will. Her Sun Pluto there is like, she's not afraid of being the villain, especially in the 12th house. She's grown up feeling ostracized, feeling unwanted, feeling misunderstood. So that's something that she is okay with. Not necessarily like thrives, like she's not necessarily like, oh, I would love for this to keep happening, but rather like she has already done this her whole life. In other areas, she's always felt ignored or not important, which is why like Sun Pluto is like a child who's grown up in the underworld, somebody who's always faced the darker sides of life and never really felt like they fit in or were accepted. And having this having her Sun Pluto on his ascendant means that she is curating his image. She also has Mars in Virgo. She's very particular and organized. She has a Virgo midheaven as well. She's very curated. So if you're seeing this is the polished PR spin, is the whole, oh, he doesn't really love her. Because from her perspective, that might be better than he's crazy and has severe mental illness and has severe addiction issues. And there's a lot of really dark underbelly things going on, right? And so I think that there is a sense of her being like, well, if the worst thing they can say is that he didn't pick me, then at least, you know, the other stuff didn't come out. I think, again, it kind of reminds me of Sharon and Ozzy, where it's like, Ozzy was like definitely mentally unwell, like super unwell. And like, he did some like heinous things. And yet the biggest thing everyone said was like, that she was like his handler, that she was his puppet master, that Sharon was like his puppet master. Even after he tried to end her life, like it's like a funny thing. Like it's like, oh yeah, you know, Ozzy did that, and it's actually like unconditional love. Like people are like, see, they're ride or die. Like he loves her so much, and she loves him no matter what. It's very similar to this dynamic. Sun Pluto on the ascendant and the North Node is very like, I'm gonna exert some control over you in order to hide and frame you in a certain light. So, you know, like Sharon was always able to take like Ozzy eating a bat on stage and make it a whole thing, make it a gold mine, like feed into it, right? Similar to like when Hailey, she wore like a little, like she was like super dressed up and like elegant, and he looked like a homeless man. And she leaned into it, right? So that's very Sun Pluto. It's like a very strategic energy. She's very strategic. She's very curated, and she leans into things in order to control narratives and hide maybe the deeper, darker things that are going on in their relationship. They also have a Sun Pluto square to Sun Saturn. So his Sun Saturn in Pisces squares her Sun Pluto in Sag. So this is him feeling like she is very controlling, and he feels micromanaged, and like she exerts her influence over him. Now, she has a Sun Pluto conjunction in the 12th house, which means that she knows how to control things without ever looking like she's trying to control things. Sun Pluto in the 12th house means that she's a master at like moving chess pieces behind the scenes, framing things as, I just want to do better by you, I just want the best for you. She is someone who has learned, right, Mars in Virgo, like she's learned his nature. She knows him by like the back of her hand. She knows what to say, what not to say, what to hide, what to frame in a certain way to kind of get him to do certain things. or to like deal with his nature, deal with his chaos. And that makes Justin feel annoyingly controlled. Like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. And she's like, I'm not doing anything. And he's like, I know what you're doing. And she's like, I just want the best for you. And he's like for him, Sun, Saturn, and Pisces is like, I'm a grown man. I know what I'm doing. I'm capable. Don't tell me what to do. You know, like his Mars in Aquarius lashing out. And I think what's interesting is like what we've seen recently with him kind of being more chaotic, and people are like, he's having a crash out. Like, you know, he's super unhappy. I think that what we're seeing of him most recently is the truth of him, is like what's actually going on behind the scenes that Hailey has protected the public from knowing, or has protected him from airing out, with her sun, Pluto squaring his sun. And I think during his Saturn return, you know, Saturn was not just returning for him, it was also squaring her sun and Pluto. So this was like a little bit of him being like, F you, I'm doing what I want, and I'm going to just stop controlling me, stop doing whatever you're doing, right? And I think for her, she was like, I'm always just doing this to protect you. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this to take care of you. And so I think that him kind of going out and acting in the ways that he's been acting is what he's actually like behind the scenes. And Hailey was like, fine, you want to go do that? Go and do it. Go and do it publicly. Because I'm the one who's been holding the fort down and keeping this under wraps for you. So I think that this was like definitely his like rebellion against like Hailey's like, I'm taking care of you, we're fixing this, you know, you don't want to act crazy, the people aren't going to understand you, like we need to do this in this way because of this. I think there's definitely a push and pull here, especially her Mars opposes his sun. So there's lots of themes in their relationship around Justin feeling suffocated by her, feeling like he's under a microscope, feeling like she's a stalker a little. So I do think the stalker claims are real, but I think the thing about it is that Justin doesn't see the stalker stuff as like news necessarily. He's aware of this, right? Mars on his Chiron, like Mars opposing his sun, like he knows that she's controlling, he knows she's strategic, he knows that she's obsessive and like very on top of him. But I think this complements his own fears if you look at his birth chart and the way it's kind of framed as like he believes people will leave him once they know the real him. He believes that people wouldn't actually like the real him, that people will always leave him no matter what, so there's no point in trying to be better. So he has like beliefs and fears around, I'm damaged goods, I'm broken, nobody cares about me, people only want to use me, or like people only like me if I do things a certain way. So like he has beliefs that like other people will never stay unless he behaves a certain way. And Hailey stays even knowing the full extent of the craziness, and that makes him feel chosen. Like, oh, you love me unconditionally, you'll love me no matter what I do, you'll never leave me. So I think that the very thing that makes her publicly embarrassed, right, like she will take anything he does, he's always embarrassing her, he never stands up for her, whatever, is like the very thing that he loves about her, is like, no matter what I do to her, I know that she'll never leave me. And vice versa, I think that for her, she has a belief that she has a belief that love is hard work, and it's about sacrifice, and it's about never leaving no matter how bad it gets. So that seems to be an ingrained belief of hers, is like real love means that no matter how you treat me, we love each other no matter what, right? So I think that all the like, oh, are they gonna get divorced, it actually makes her dig her heels in more, because it makes her feel like, no, I'm not giving up, I don't give up, I'm not gonna leave him, I'm not going to let this take us over, or let this win for us. Like she's more willing to be like, fine, let us be publicly embarrassed, let people say that, that he doesn't really love me. I would rather that people, waste their lives saying stuff like that than for me to actually leave. And I think that if she did leave him, she would definitely frame it in a way where it's like she wouldn't, how do I explain this? Like Sun, Pluto, Mars, and Virgos, like she's very big on how she curates things. So she would make it seem like it was not a response to what people were saying, but rather she would almost maybe let him go act crazy so that people could see that like he's crazy. She would probably stop handling him, or like stop protecting him, or stop hiding a lot of the things that he's been doing, and just kind of let him fall on his own sword. I mean, he's definitely a chaotic person, and it seems like she's been protecting him publicly from his own chaos. And I think if she did leave him, she would kind of like stop hiding his chaos from others so that people could see like he's kind of insane, and I left because of that, not because he didn't love me or whatever. I also see with the they both have Saturn contacts to the IC, so they both grew up really fast. They both grew up in environments that were harsh and not very warm. So I think that their obsession with like marriage, and then like I think they're like really Christian too, is them trying to find some level of structure where they both grew up in chaos, which is ironic because they both are kind of chaotic, and they actually overcompensate by like overly controlling everything, which is at least Hailey's way of handling things with him. There's also, her son Pluto on his ascendant actually makes her kind of a light in his life. Like she feels like, it's gonna sound weird, but like he feels like her withstanding all of the things that he does makes him feel like he could actually be a better person. Like he brings faith into into his life. She makes him believe that there's another side, that there is a better way, that he could be better, that he could get through things, that he's not going to be abandoned even when he's going through the hard stuff. So he does kind of make her feel, he does feel a bigger sense of purpose and structure and stability because of her. Like she stabilizes him a lot. A lot of her planets are on his angles. So she has Sun conjunct Pluto on his ascendant, her Mars on his midheaven, Saturn in his fourth house. Like she becomes kind of the structure of his life in a way that makes him feel a lot more stable, even though he is still very chaotic. So yeah, like for some reason it really, really reminds me of Ozzy and Sharon, in that like sense of like she's definitely controlling him. She's definitely dealing with his stuff. Like I think they have a very strange relationship, but she makes him feel like even though he's messed up 1,000 million times, like that he's still worthy of love and she's not gonna leave kind of vibe. It's definitely not a super, it's definitely a dysfunctional relationship built on like a lot of, this is a very chaotic person. Like he's not a normal man. He's not somebody who's grown up in ordinary circumstances. So he needs somebody who's also quite dysfunctional to deal with him. Otherwise, I don't think other people could really withstand the chaos that comes along with someone like Justin Bieber. So that is what I'm seeing between these two. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one.